Hi, everyone. We are so extremely excited that today we have Miss Dori Held presenting on her pathway from public schools in New York City to a specialized high school in the Bronx. And now she is headed one way to Emory University. We are thrilled that she's participating in this webinar. We're also more thrilled to say that Dori will be tutoring at Kweller Prep in West Hampton Beach all summer. So this is a very exciting moment at our learning center because Dori used to be a student and she started Kweller in the 7th grade preparing for the SHSAT. And here she is today, a 12th grader, a senior at Bronx High School of Science. She was admitted through the early decision process. We are beyond thrilled that she is going to speak and volunteer her heartfelt, unscripted information about her pathway to Emory University. I also want to say that it's a little bit emotional listening to this and this presentation because I really knew you as like a little girl growing and, and you would study, and it was just something remarkable to see from 7th grade to 8th grade to 9th grade to 10. I can't believe this, to 11 to 12. And I really want to commend you because during a pandemic, during such an unprecedented time in history and during your, teenage years, you really persevered. I really want to congratulate you for, being so strong and being able to succeed and to go to school in person in the Bronx and to then transition to school remotely. So I just want to compliment you before we even begin this webinar. You are a star today on April 12, 2022, before you even stepped foot into Emory University. And they are so lucky that you're going to be a student at their school. So I just want, Emory to know, if Emory's listening, that they are truly blessed because Dori Held is coming to town. All right. So without further ado, Miss Dori, can you please tell us about yourself, your pathway, and your journey?
Yes, thank you for the wonderful introduction, Francis. My name is Dori Held. I'm a senior at Bronx Science. Before that, I went to Eastside Middle School in Manhattan, and before that, I went to PS 183. So I've been in public school system basically all my life. At school, I am a member of the speech and debate team, which is, I think, ranked #1 in the country right now, which is amazing. I've been a member since my freshman year. I'm also involved in a bunch of other organizations, such as the Big Sips program, the National Honor Society. I'm in the National Organization for Women at my school. And then outside of school, I have a lot of outside activities. I like to play the guitar. I help out with Francis at Kweller Prep. I also love to read and write. So I have a bunch of hobbies. And I have a presentation that I will share for everyone so that it's a bit easier to follow along. But this is just a visual, so if anyone has any questions, of course. Okay. So can I present this?
Wow, super nice.
Thank you. So from Bronx Science to Emory University, this is it. So this is my About Me slide. I'm a senior, as I said. I basically went over all of this. So one thing that I didn't mention is I participated in my school's research program. So that's a program that you can enter starting your sophomore year of high school, and you can enter doing biology research, mathematics research, physical science research, or social science research. So I did social science research for 2 years at my school. I researched a lot of different things, started off with increasing access to menstrual products in my high school. And then I went into like more sensory stuff. Like I evaluated like the presence of plants on academic achievement. And I also later in my junior year, I was researching the effect of social media on body dissatisfaction and eating disorders. So that's a bit about me. And now we can go a bit more into my college process. So if that's good with you, Francis. Yeah, okay, cool. So some other activities on my
parents, if you have any questions, you're welcome to type them in the chat. But this is really an opportunity where Dori's going to lead the webinar. And at the end, if you have any questions, you're welcome to do that. So please keep going. Great.
So some other activities on my Common App, because on the Common App, for those of you who don't know what the Common App is, it's basically an application that you send to most of your colleges. Some colleges don't use a common application, such as Georgetown University, the UCs, which are the public California universities. University of Texas doesn't use a Common App. But for the main part, for the majority, a lot of your schools, you'll be applying for the Common App. So you can list 10 activities. So some other activities that I participate in outside of school is I mentor a boy with autism. I also, during 2020, the summer, I founded a day camp for kids in the neighborhood in my family's home in Long Island called Camp Beaver Dam. So I shared that on my Common application. And you can also list 5 honors on your Common application. So I'm a National Merit Scholar. I'm a finalist now. On my application, I was a semi-finalist, but now I've advanced to the final round. So you qualify for that by taking your PSATs. Last year, I got to submit my SAT score because the PSAT was not offered because of COVID, but I'm now a finalist for that. So I can get up to, I think, $2,500 per year per semester, assuming Emory is a sponsor for the National Merit Scholarship Program. So hopefully that'll go through. I'm also a member of my National Honor Society at my school. So at school, I tutor pre-calculus and Algebra 2 students every Wednesday. I also help out with a bunch of different activities, such as leading student tours for the incoming students for Bronx Science. We also help out with different events throughout the school. It's more of a community program. And then I'm also from the speech and debate team. This is a national speech and debate. They do degrees based on your participation, your academic achievement in the debate world. So I have 4 degrees of distinction, excellence, honor, and merit, which I was able to list on my Common application as well. So moving on to so there are 2 main parts of the Common App, the activity section, then you'll have your supplements, which are going to be specialized for each school, and then you're going to have a personal statement, which is like the essay, the writing portion that you're going to send to each school. So for my personal statement, I wrote about my journey with music. I don't know if you can see in the back, my guitar is right here. It's a bit in the background, but I taught myself how to play the guitar starting my freshman year, and I found it to be an amazing outlet with transitioning from a small high school to a small middle school to a huge high school with a lot of pressures. For those of you who don't know, Bronx Science has so many opportunities and it's so great academically, but it is a pressure cooker. It is competitive. So I found a haven in my guitar when in the face of like conflict and pressure through school and through debate. So I wrote about that. Some timeline about writing my personal statement is I started brainstorming with Kweller Prep the summer before my senior year. And then during the fall, we started writing it in class. I had a lot of support from Kweller Prep and also from my teachers at school, who, especially my English teacher, I love my English teacher, but she helped us kind of brainstorm and put it all together and craft it. The timeline worked for me. However, I think if I could redo my application process, I would start working on my personal statement a bit earlier, just because when you have that out of the way, you can start focusing more on your activity section, on your supplements for each college, and there's just less stress when you can kind of get that done before. It's not something you have to wait to do. So that's my personal statement. If anyone has any questions about that, you can just write it in the chat or raise your hand. Course load is also a huge factor in college applications. So I'm taking 8 AP classes total. 5 of them I'm taking this year, 3 of them I took in the years before. I took AP European History, AP US History, and AP English Language and Composition. I actually did not submit my AP scores to college just because they weren't all 5. So I was just like, I'm not going to submit them. But I think APs were definitely I love challenging myself through my curriculum. So I think that was a great thing to do. But also I think it looks good on the college application. If you have those opportunities and you're able to take AP classes, I would definitely recommend to do so. Also, outside of the AP courses, I took social science research in 10th and 11th grade. I also took 3 years of Spanish, including I took Spanish 2, I took honors Spanish 3, and then my junior year, I took an elective called Spanish for Professions. And I took 3 years of honors math. Starting Bronx Science, I started with honors geometry, and this was based on my math score for the SHSAT, which is the exam that gets you admitted to the specialized high schools. So I took honors geometry, and then the next year I took honors algebra 2 and trigonometry, and then the last year I took honors pre-calculus. This year I'm taking AP calculus AB. And then also every freshman at Bronx Science takes half a year of engineering and half a year of research literacy. So I also took those 2 electives. And then this year, my schedule, I'm taking 5 AP courses. They're the last 5 AP courses that I listed. So I'm taking AP Environmental Science, I'm taking AP CompGov or Comparative Government, I'm taking AP Psychology, AP Calc AB, and also AP Lit. So here's a list of schools that I applied to. I applied to 17 schools total. I was actually going to apply to more, but you'll see that when you start applying to schools, some of them you just won't apply to them. You'll think you're going to apply to them and you won't, just for time purposes. But these are all that I applied to. So I applied early 1 to Vanderbilt University. I got rejected from Vanderbilt. So then I applied early 2 to Emory University, which is where I'm going now. So that worked out. And I also applied early action. So early decision is binding. So when you apply to that school, you're saying, if you accept me, I will commit to attending. Early action is just saying, if I get my application in early, you'll give me a decision early. They can also defer you, which means that you'll hear back later. So I applied early action to Northeastern, to Tulane, to Michigan, and to UVA. And then I applied regular decision to the rest of my schools. I applied regular to Yale University as well. That was okay. So these are the schools that I applied to. The results, denied from Vanderbilt, and then I was deferred from my 4 other early action schools. I was deferred from Northeastern, deferred from Tulane, deferred from UMich, deferred from UVA, and then I was accepted to Emory ED2. And so after that, I withdrew all of my other regular decision applications because early decision is binding. So it's the ethical thing to do. I know sometimes you're able to keep your other regular decision applications in if your ability to go to the school depends on your financial aid. But that wasn't the case for me, so I withdrew my regular decision applications. So I don't know how the other 11 went, but I'm very happy and it's okay. And that's just what you have to do. So I'm going to Emory University next year, as it's in the title of the webinar, and also on my sweatshirt, that's where I'm going. So this is a picture of Emory University. You can see it's in a suburban setting, and in the back you have Atlanta. So you have the city, but you're not in the city, which is definitely what I wanted coming from Manhattan. I didn't want to live another 4 years in another like concrete jungle. I wanted a bit of grass. I wanted a few trees. So that was what was important to me, but I'll get into why I chose Emory a bit later. This is just some more information about Emory University. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a private institution. It's a mid-size, so there are about 7,000 undergraduate students. This was important to me. I wanted mid-size because Bronx Science has 750 kids in a grade. It's a really big school. And when I graduate in 2 months, I don't think I'm going to know a lot of the kids walking across the stage at my school. And that's not to say I'm going to know everyone in my college, because I'm not going to a small university by any means. But I definitely didn't want a huge, huge school. That just wouldn't be the best fit for me. So I wanted mid-size. Some statistics, Emory's ranked number 21 in best universities in the United States, and that's from the 2022 US News Report, which is widely respected reporting institution. It's rated number 6 for quality of life, which is really important to me. Quality of life is basically how it's like being as a student. Is it stressful? Are you miserable there? Is it the happiest place you've ever been? The overall admit rate for Emory was 10.6%. The regular decision had an acceptance rate of 9%. I applied ED2 and that had an acceptance rate of 14%. And then if you apply early decision 1, that's the greatest likelihood you're going to get in, and that has an admit rate of 32%. Some really great opportunities at Emory is that they have amazing research opportunities. I actually visited 2 weekends ago. Emory is a university, so it has a medical school, it has a business school, it has a school of public health. The hospital is right on campus, so you can do research. Basically, at any of those schools, I think there are so many opportunities. And having participated in research in high school, this is definitely something that I want to continue in my undergraduate education. You can also study abroad, which I hope to take part in. So that's a great opportunity. And then you can also dual major at Emory. I applied as a human health major. For some of my schools, I applied as public health, others public policy. Human health was kind of the major at Emory that I applied to that encompassed a lot of what I wanted to. I can see myself doing healthcare reform, which is what I wrote about in my supplements. So human health, I'd want to do more public health. And actually, Emory's right across from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. So you can see it from campus. You can do summer internships there. It's just amazing for public health and for human health. But I can also dual major in business. So they have I think it's called the Gazette Business School there. You apply your sophomore year, and there's basically, as long as you fulfill your prerequisites, they'll let you do business. It's not a highly selective process. If you study and you do the work, then you have the opportunity to do business. So I'm considering dual majoring in business and human health, but I also have other interests in psychology, environmental science, and political science. This is a picture of Emory over here. Emory, all the buildings are Renaissance style. The campus is one of the most beautiful ones in the country, in my opinion, but a lot of other opinions too. Everyone, if you visit Emory, you'll walk away thinking this is such a beautiful place. It's actually stunning. And yeah, that's just a little picture. Why I chose Emory. So I was considering applying in the early decision 2 round. I wasn't sure. I didn't think I'd have to do that because I think everyone goes in being like, I'm going to get into my ED1 school and everything's going to be perfect. Everything's going to be fine. But in reality, the college process is wild at times. It's unpredictable. And ED1 did not work out for me. So when I was considering applying early decision 2, I was going between Emory and WashU in St. Louis, which I ended up applying to regular decision. And I think why I decided Emory was because I could see myself being happy there. And I knew that I worked so hard and I really wanted to end up in a place where I had great academics, where I could be happy. And I decided to make the choice to put myself in the best position and to have the best odds of going to a place that I would love and that I would be happy. So that's in the end why I chose Emory. My thought process was, if I get into Emory, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be thrilled. And if I don't get into Emory, I have all my other regular decision schools to choose from. So in my eyes, it was a win-win decision. It was a win-win decision to apply early to, which is why I did so. But there are 3 key factors that I kind of evaluated. So one was academics. Emory is an amazing school academically. It has one of the best public health programs in the nation. As I said before, it's right across from the CDC. And it has, again, research opportunities, like everything that I want Emory has academically. The campus, I wanted suburban. I wanted warm weather if I could. I know a lot of amazing schools are in the Northeast, especially in Boston. That's a great college town. But I wanted warm weather, and so that was important to me. The campus is really safe. When I walked around 2 weeks ago, you're basically in a bubble. For better or for worse, it was stunning. The campus is beautiful. I think it's really easy to study and do well in a place that you feel happy in and that you're doing well in. So the campus is beautiful, academics are great. And the third was student life, because as much as the school is important with the academics and, the campus, at the end of the day, you're gonna have a lot of downtime. College is also about making friends, about having a memorable experience. And Emory has a really healthy student life. They're really nice people. Like when you walk around Emory, everyone is so friendly. They just want to ask where you're from. Are you considering Emory? They want to hear about you. They're not there to judge you, look at you any wrong way. The people there are just genuinely really kind and really nice. It's collaborative versus competitive, which was a thing I was looking at. I didn't want to go to another pressure cooker. I do well under pressure. I love being pressured, pushed out of my comfort zone academically. But I think what I wanted was a school that had amazing academics, but that also had a collaborative vibe. My school right now, I love Bronx Science. It's a bit on the competitive side. And I didn't want to go into a school that had that exacerbated student vibe. So Emory has good vibes, nice people, and it checked off every single box for me. So that's why I chose Emory, and it works out, and I'm so thrilled to be going next year. I'm so excited. Okay, next slide. Closing thoughts, and then we can talk about other stuff. The college process is crazy and it's a bit unpredictable, and I think it's really easy to get stressed out with names. Am I going to go to an Ivy League school? Am I going to go, to a school that has this percent acceptance rate? How competitive is it? But really, when you're looking at a school, it shouldn't be as much about the name or a number or an admit rate than the fit for you and where you see yourself excelling and being happy and what school has the best opportunities for you socially and academically. So I'm very happy. Emory's perfect fit for me, I think. Hopefully. So I'm really excited for that. And this is my advice for those who are just starting the college journey. I would start a little earlier. If I could go back in time and have my personal statement done in the summer, I think that would be really beneficial. You don't want to fall prey to the deadlines. I had probably 2 or 3 applications, maybe even 4, that I was thinking about doing, and then time got the best of me and I couldn't get them out. I still applied to 17 schools, and those schools obviously weren't that important to me if I put them off because of time, but time's on your side right now and you can start now. I would also encourage you to maintain confidence. Rejection's redirection. After I was rejected from Vanderbilt, I was kind of in shock for a moment, and then it hit me that I have to do all my other applications and that I'd have to start looking again and seeing where I could be happy. But I think just, looking forward, one school is not everything. There are so many amazing schools in our country and all around the world. So just confidence. You're going to end up somewhere, hopefully, that you'll be happy. And if not, then you'll just make the best of it and you'll keep going forward. Also, I'd figure out what you value in a college or university, because let's say you are the type of person who can't function in the cold. Every time it snows, you don't want to leave the house and you're a bit upset. Maybe it's not the best to go to a school that's really north. Maybe a school in Maine's not the best for you. So it's just figuring out what works for you and then finding a school that matches you instead of finding a school that you think you'll be okay at, or a school that sounds good in your head, because it's not about that. And you're the one that's gonna have to go to the school for 4 years. So those were all my slides that I prepared. I think there are some questions in the chat.
And then Dori, there's some comments in the chat. One of the parents is asking, do you have a chance to read it? Was your school counselor helpful in such a big school? I mean, you do have 3,000 plus students at your high school, although it is specialized, but you had, do you know ratio wise how many you had in your actual grade? Did you have to do a lot of the work yourself? Can you kind of just give some open feedback on how you felt that process went?
So for my school, I met with my guidance counselor, I think 2 times or 3 times about my college process. I think that they're mainly there to make sure that you're applying to schools that they want you to get into a college. So they're there to make sure you're applying to safeties, you're applying to target schools, you're applying to schools that might be a little out of reach, but schools that fit what major you want, schools that fit your family financially. So I think that they're more there as like an overseer of the process. They're not going to be your number. I mean, at least for me, they were not my school counselor was not my number 1 support system. I also I think my school has so many people. I think I'm graduating, the final number is 735, and each guidance counselor has, I think, over 60 students definitely. They each have a lot of students, and that's just in my grade. So they've probably 200 students or more. So it's not feasible for them to take, my guidance counselor did offer to read over my application, read over my supplements, but at the end of the day, I felt I had more support outside of school, through Kweller Prep, through my family, through my friends, just getting them to proofread it. I think it's about finding support where it can be offered, and in a big school like Bronx Science, that's not always the case, where it can be offered through your school. But if you do need support, I'm sure someone at the guidance department, if you go to Bronx Science, would be happy to help you out with that. So I didn't mention standardized testing besides AP scores. I took the SAT. I scored a 1520. I took it twice. My first time I took it in November, I got a 1510 on my first SAT, which I was very happy with. My scores were a 750 on the English portion and a 760 on the math portion. And then I was really satisfied with that, but I thought it'd be best to take the test one more time just for super scoring purposes. Maybe I'm gonna have a great day and I'm gonna get a perfect score in the math section or a perfect score in the reading. That didn't happen, but I did better. I got a 1500 on my second time, but my math score improved by 10 points. I received a score of 770 on the math and a score of 730 on the English. So in the end, it was beneficial to take it again because I super scored to a 1520. And a lot of schools will super score for you. They won't look at your individual scores. Georgetown, I think, does look at both your scores. I think it depends for each school. You're gonna have to look into those policies. But I did take the SAT and I did submit my test score. I prepared with Kweller Prep the summer going into my junior year. I took a math class and an English class. Although if I had the time to, I definitely would have loved to take the 4-hour class every single day because I think that would have definitely boosted my score a bit. But in the end, I was very happy with my score. And throughout the college process, like Kweller Prep was amazing. I would just go on the weekends with Francis and we would sit on the couch and we would just write supplements. We'd sit in the office in Queens and we'd jam everything out. I submitted my first college application. I submitted Northeastern in the Kweller Prep office in Queens. Anytime I had a question, I was able to email Kweller Prep tutor or Francis and get advice like nearly instantaneously. They were really, really helpful. They were able to be the support that I wasn't receiving at my school. So I can't see a lot of the I see a comment. Can you talk about what extracurriculars you did and congrats on Emory? Thank you. I can go back to my first slides where I had slides about extracurriculars. So I do speech and debate. I'm an NHS. I also did research. I did the Big Subs program is a program at my school where it's a program for seniors who mentor incoming freshman cohorts. So I am a Big Sib. I have my own class of freshman students. I think there are 30 of them, 34 students. So that's a program that I put on there. And then National Organization for Women is a club at my school. And it's actually a national organization. So there are chapters all over the country. But I'm a part of that. And then I also put on my Common App about my guitar. I also put tutoring. And then on the next slide, I also put my mentorship, my summer camp, and also helping out Kweller Prep. So those were my main extracurriculars that I put on my Common application. But also, I didn't realize until I was doing my college application that I had 10. I think if I had that number earlier on, I would be a bit more, not calculated, but I would think in my head as a sophomore, okay, Dori, you have 10 activities, like let's give 10 activities your all. Because let's say you're involved in 20 activities right now, you have no idea what the Common App looks like. Maybe cut down and focus on 10 and get leadership positions in those and work really hard in those, dedicate more time. I think that would be my suggestion, but you have 10. It's not a lot, but it's enough. Yeah. Francis, are there any more questions on your end? You're muted. Can't hear. You're muted.
All right, I'm unmuting. So I want to just take a moment to really sincerely say thank you as we're winding down this webinar. And if I could, what I really think is the most beneficial in our last few minutes is for you to just give the most heartfelt advice you could. I think it's also connected to you, breathing a sigh of relief that you opted to go ED1 and then you opted to go ED2 and you didn't really wait until New Year's Eve to apply regular decision to 30 schools and have panic attack. You really went on a very structured, regimented, I'm going to plan one, I'm going to plan another. And you really, I'm very proud of the way you handled the application process because, even though the first choice, the school that you opted to ED, as many families know, and it's all over the news, it's just extraordinarily highly competitive now to get into schools where you really thought were safety. We actually are very surprised. There were a number of students where siblings, brothers, sisters, cousins, they have legacy and they're not getting into school. So, like, what is going on? It seems as if the whole planet was applying. So here you are in a position where you really kind of had to get up again and make a smart choice. What was your thought process? Because you successfully navigated an ED2 application. So are you able to, share the best possible advice that you can give heartfelt with students on how you landed where you landed and you're in a highly selective school. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I think well, the reason I applied for 82, another one, was because I don't think I personally I could have stomached the process and I could have applied regular and made it through. But I think it's really hard to apply regular decision nowadays just because everything is so competitive. As you can see from my results, I was not accepted to a single school until I was accepted to Emory. And I think after Vanderbilt, because I was confident, as many people are with their ED1s, and then you realize maybe a few more rejections or deferrals are in my future. And then it was literally 5 in a row of schools where it was rejection, deferral, deferral, deferral. And it was February and I wasn't accepted to college. And I was really anxious. I was really stressed out. And at the end of the day, I applied ED2 because I trusted myself more than I trusted the process. And I wanted to put myself in the best position that I could. I think that the ED pools are really advantageous. I showed on this slide about Emory, early decision one rate was 32%, and the regular decision rate was 9%. So it's really, really advantageous to apply ED 1 and 2. Again, ED2 if wasn't as high as ED1, it was 14%, which is still really selective, but better than 9%. It's better than the alternative that I would have had if I applied regular. I think the whole process is just about figuring out what you can do in such an uncertain and random process to put yourself in the best position. And it's really hard. When I wasn't accepted to school, I was pretty much anxious all the time. I'd see my friends getting accepted because I didn't even apply to a Binghamton or like a safety school. If I can go back to my list of schools, I thought Northeastern would be a safety for me. I thought Michigan would be a safety for me, or Tulane, and I was deferred from all of them early. So I didn't have that safety of an acceptance. I didn't have that security going into February. So it was a bit disheartening. A lot of my friends who did stick it out, they ended up being really successful from my school. A bunch of my friends are going to Princeton, Penn, Northwestern, top schools in the country. And it did work out for them, but for a lot of other kids, they're not as lucky because it is random, I think. I mean, their schools are getting so many applications nowadays. I think University of Michigan got 80,000 applications. No way they're reading all of them. I mean, I don't know, but I think it's a lot of applications. It's a heavy influx of applications. And you just need to make yourself stand out. You need to put yourself in the best pool that you can succeed in. And you just gotta I put this at the end, like closing it, you just gotta maintain confidence. I think that's it. I think it's really, really hard applying to school, also because a lot of people think that applying to college defines your self-worth, and it doesn't. Your college doesn't define you. Your achievements somewhat define you, but your character defines who you are. And as long as you maintain positive character and you really stick to yourself, because at the end of the day, college is 4 years, and then you have the rest of your life to get jobs, go to graduate school, live life. So these 4 years they're not everything. They are meaningful, but at the end of the day, you are your own rock, and you just got to be that rock. Because it's hard, but everyone kind of has to do it, and everyone will do it. So I think just good luck and just really making a list and thinking, where can I, because before, I'll just go back to my list one more time of the schools that I ended up applying to. I wasn't going to apply to a lot of these schools. I wasn't planning on it until after I heard back from Vanderbilt, because after that I was very nervous, and I was very upset, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I ended up applying to school. I wasn't going to apply to Northeastern, was not going to apply to Syracuse, was not going to apply to U Miami, I was not going to apply to Wake Forest. There were a bunch of, I wasn't going to apply to Brandeis. There were a lot of schools that I just wasn't planning on applying to because I thought I can't see myself there. And I was lucky to get into, because when I made my original list, I said, if I just get into one of these schools, I'm going to be really happy, because I made a list of schools that I could be happy at. Emory is one of those schools, so I did it. Yeah, so I'm there. But I got really nervous, and some of my friends are going to schools they didn't think they would end up at, and I'm sure they're going to be happy and it's going to be amazing, because I think the most unexpected things can be like the best blessings, the most amazing things in life. But you never know. It's just about, again, putting yourself in the best position and maintaining confidence. But best of luck to everyone, I think, who's going to go through the process. I think it's getting tougher and tougher every year. I think everything about, not everything, but college admissions is evolving. It's and just best of luck. Best of luck. Everyone can do it, and everyone will succeed if they choose to.
Dori, I'm so honored to know you and to get to watch you blossom and grow. And something that's very clear from this webinar is how strong of a female you are, how strong of a person you are, how you didn't just shut down, which would have been very easy. And you know what? No one would have blamed you. You went through a pandemic, you went through virtual learning, you went through college rejections, deferrals, wait lists. You went through so much. And I just want to share how extraordinarily proud we are of you. And I'm even, in the chat typing thank you, because I need like everyone to just be aware that it is so easy right now to just kind of shut down, and it's so stressful. And oh my goodness, I read the news today, I just wanted to shut down. I'm like, what is going on? And there's just a lot of anxiety, and you really persevered, and you're very young, and you really made so many mature, level-headed, well thought out, planned decisions. You really said, you know what? And I just want everyone to know, Kweller Prep did help. We helped, but Dori led, and she's leading now. So you can just imagine how much thought and effort and heart and, sincerity went into her application process. Look at how she's leading right now. So, and nothing here was scripted, rehearsed. I mean, Dori messaged me earlier what to plan. I said speak from the heart, because that you can always tell when someone is speaking from the heart. So I just want to say thank you, because you're very strong, and I really admire how young and fierce and fearlessly you applied to so many schools, and you said, you know what, I'm going to keep going, and you research the schools and you make decisions, and here you are today on April 12th, 2022, passing the torch and sharing your wisdom. And now the next generation is going to have this, video and this recording. And we're so lucky, because this is a moment where you get to memorialize your journey. This was a wild journey. In a way, it's actually really good that we have these Kweller Prep webinars and recordings, because like someday you might just forget this whole process. It was so tumultuous. We're just really thankful. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. We're starting believe it or not, one more session of Queller. So bear with me, guys. But I really just want to say thank you. Thank you so much, Dori. And we're just so lucky that you're here and that you're, part of this amazing community. I'm very proud of you. I really, truly am, Dori. I can't speak more highly of how proud we are of you. And everyone, something that I love to do at Kweller is to give a gigantic thank you. So I'm gonna unmute everyone. So let's count to 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the chat and I'm going to unmute everyone. So those of you who are used to this are going to love it. And those of you who aren't, can you give me 1 second, guys? Okay, hold on just one moment. Okay, so I'm unmuting everybody, and this is really cute, and this is our extremely cool way. So we're going to count to 3, and we're going to give Dori a gigantic, colossal thank you for her time, her effort, sincerity. So ready? We're all going to count to 3, and we're going to do this as a group. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you,
Dori.
Dori.
Hello, Dori.
Thank
you
So
so
proud of you.
Wasn't Dori the bestest? She was the bestest.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So-
Wait, let Goldie say. Goldie say thank you to Dori.
Hi, Goldie.
Hi. Oh
Thank
my
you,
gosh.
Dori.
I want to say thank you to the parents who are listening, to the students. Thank you to those who trust Kweller Prep with your children. It is an honor. We've never lost any of them. And we're very happy that, that we're, really building this amazing community. Thank you to everyone who participated and who listened. Thank you so much to Mark and Nancy Held. Look at the incredible child you raised, this amazing person who's going to make a difference and make the world a better place. And am I correct? You're looking to go into public policy. What is your end? Can you tell us, what are you thinking? Where do you see yourself? What field?
I see myself. I mean, I don't know. I think the future has so many opportunities and it's unwritten right now. So I don't know where I'm going to be. I can see myself in public health, but Emory does have amazing pre-med programs. So maybe business and pre-med and human health. I don't know. Maybe
Well,
law.
we're really, whatever pathway you will decide, we are going to be so excited to follow along. And I don't know. I'm just saying I'm honored and humbled that we know you and that you're part of, an amazing community. And we're just so thankful. Thank you for passing the torch today. Thank you for this amazing webinar. I think it's really beautiful that we're ending the webinar and the sun is setting behind you. It's just this very divine moment that we're having at Kweller. So I want to sincerely say thank you, Dori. This was a great webinar, 5 stars, amazing. If I do say so myself. I really want to just say sincerely, this was so extremely good. And I can't speak more highly of how extremely lucky we are. Everyone, we're going to wind down. We're going to close. And Dori, good luck. Okay, let's type good luck to Dori so that she has it. And we're there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to wind down right now. Okay. So thank you, parents. Thank you to everyone who listens. Oh, Tori, this is so cute. You have to take a picture of the of all the thank yous. It's so nice.
They are really nice. Thank you, everyone.
Wait, I have to do this. This is so cute. I can't do it because I don't have the full screen. Oh my God, I love it. I'm gonna record how nice this is. Okay, ready? This is super cute. Look at this. Yay! I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dori. I love it. I love it. I love it. Amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you teaching me about the high school process. Maureen wrote, "You're one incredible woman. Thank you for showing us your path. Thank you. Good luck. Good luck." I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Dori. Have a wonderful evening. Okay. And thank you to your family for letting us borrow you for this webinar. Okay. Enjoy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.